Residents of Port Harcourt and Rivers State trooped out in their numbers on Saturday to take part in a solidarity march for the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, ahead of the 2023 general election in Nigeria. The march, tagged 2 Million March for Peter Obi, was to show support for Mr. Obi, a former presidential aspirant of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, who defected to the Labour Party. Rivers State and Port Harcourt were trending on Twitter on Saturday morning, apparently because of the march. Dr. Yunusa Tanko, a Labour Party chieftain, joins us now to speak on the wave of solidarity rallies for the party's presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, and how the party can turn them to votes in the 2023 general election. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Welcome to Newsday.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, let's start with this wave of solidarity rallies being held for Mr. Peter Obi. Is this driven by the Labour Party or is it independently organized?
Well, I can authoritatively tell you, for the first time in the history of the Labour Party, led by the able chairman, Barrister Abure, and his secretary, Ibrahim Farouk, with the very supportive National Working Committee, organized a sensitization program all around the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And we went around the 6 geographical zone. We just came back from the Northwest. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are already in Lagos, Osun, Enugu, Abuja, Kogi, River State. All of us went out. We all went out to sensitize the people with regard to the program of the Labour Party, and that was done well orchestrated by the leadership of Barrister Abure and his National Working Committee. This particular form of sensitization brought out a lot of support. I can tell you from what I saw in Sokoto, Kebbi, Jigawa, including Gusau. In fact, I've never seen the kind of love that was shown. In Gusau, for example, I met a lady who is physically challenged. Her name is Aisha. I've said this over and over again. She's physically challenged. They came out in numbers. And then the mere mentioning of Peter Obi, she busted into cry that for the first time in her life, she's having hope that somebody from the south is coming to emancipate them from the shackle of poverty and the level of insecurity in the region in which I belong to. And here I am in Enugu here also. There's a march being organized under the Charity Begins at Home, because people from the south is now realize that everybody around the country is showing love to their own son. And in that case, they too organize a march in support of their son, that charity should begin at home. This kind of upsurge is something that one is so happy, and we want to thank everybody that has been part of this particular movement. And it is also to show that Nigerians are ready to be unified under this leadership, under this particular candidacy of Obi and Deti Baba Ahmed. This is unprecedented, and we are grateful to Nigerians who want to unite this country and make it a better place for every one of us.
Well, Dr. Tanko, surely there are obedience all over the country. We see their presence quite strongly on social media, and with these solidarity rallies, they are coming out and showing love, just as you said. How can this translate into votes to make sure that they actually show up to the polls in February of next year?
You know, the interesting part of this support is that nobody is, like for the campaign organization, I am sure, and including the party, I am sure nobody is financing anybody to come out in that large number. So the difference between what you usually see in the conventional politicians is that people pay them to come out and support a particular candidate. Here, they are the ones sponsoring themselves. In fact, I met a gentleman in Sokoto who provided the billboards, close to about 6 billboards. When you land in Sokoto, the first billboard that welcomes you is that of Obi Deti candidacy. And next door to that particular billboard, you will see the billboard being destroyed. These billboards were destroyed from another candidate, but that of Obi and Detti are still standing as if you just put them there. That shows the kind of love. And these are people who really sponsor themselves. If you call for a meeting in any part of this country, you will see people transporting themselves to that particular program. So in that case, if they can do that with their own personal money and mobilizing people to be in all of this program, that invariably tell you that they are ready to vote. But we, with the leadership of the party led by Barrister Abure and Ibrahim, what they propose to us to do is to mobilize people along each of the polling units. 176,000 polling units across the federation. We are mobilizing along those polling units. That is where our targets are. Other strategic discussion, we may not be able to say it on the media, but one thing is certain, that our mobilization is around those particular polling units so that people can be able to identify where their polling units are so that they can also come out and vote. The leadership also ensure that giving out the program of the party, they made it very clear that the party is a social democratic party would believe in the mobilization of the people to be part of governance. And so therefore, they try to publicize the logo of the party, which is Mama, Papa, Pekin, or Mama, Papa, Pekin, starting from either way. If it's the son that is making that one, you say to me, Pekin, and my mama, and my papa, giving the logo a kind of a distinct identification so that people can be aware and associate themselves with the logo of the party, so that people cannot, because we are aware that there's a strategic move in order to place our candidate's picture with other political parties. So we needed to go out and mobilize along that line and let the people understand the logo of the party, which will be what will be displayed on the day of election. So we are working very hard to ensure there's a synergy within the party and the candidate and then the party itself, which is actually the fulcrum of this particular movement. So our target is to ensure that people know where to vote, know who to vote for, knowing the logo that they will vote for. And those are some of the things that we are doing as far as we are concerned.
All right, Dr. Tanko, some would say that the Labour Party and Peter Obi are garnering quite a lot of momentum. But some are saying that maybe it might be too close at this point in time, that some are even looking that probably this can only yield dividends come 2027. What do you have to say to that? Because they say that PDP, APC, and Labour Party being the third force in this political spectrum. Talk to us about this. All right, Dr. Yunusa Tanko, I don't know if you got to be the first time. I wanted to hear from you concerning the momentum, which some people say it is quite commendable, but a little too late, understanding that next year's election is just by the corner and that this momentum might begin to yield dividends as early as 2027, not in this political cycle we are right now. That it is still between the PDP and the APC, and the Labour Party are a very strong third political force. Talk to us about this.
Well, under the leadership of Professor Pat Utomi and the Labour Congress, the leadership of the Labour Congress, the leadership of TUC, Comrade Ayuba Waba, and that of Olaleye Kadri, who adopted the Labour Party on the 22nd of May 2023, and then Peter Obi also joining the party on the 27th of May 2023. Within that period to this period, you could ascertain the kind of level of momentum that we have gathered as a movement. And within the movement, we have a political party that is strong, capable to midwife this particular achievement. Now, if we could do that within just period of time, what will make you not to believe that within now and the next 5 months we will have been fully ready to have every Nigerian to vote for Peter Obi? I can tell you, Nigerians are tired and they are frustrated with the particular leadership of the previous leadership and then the present leadership. They have come out in their large numbers. Within the statistics that was presented by INEC, 12 million Nigerian youths within the age of 18 and 35 has come out to register for both. And out of that particular 12 million, you have 8-point-something million of those particular registered voters as Nigerian youth. And you can ascribe that particular upsurge to the fact that the Nigerian youth are the majority of the people who register because of a singular person, which is Peter Gregory Obi and Deti Baba Ahmed. And that, of course, you can tell you that they are ready to vote for this particular ticket and for that particular candidate. So I think there is no better time for Nigerians to come out en masse to vote for the candidate of their choice in this particular regard, Peter Gregory Obi and Deti Baba Ahmed, than now. And they are ready and they are determined. In fact, funny enough, some of them have gone very far to mobilize themselves, and then they have associated themselves with this particular gentleman who in particular have shown this practical leadership style, which he did in 2006 in Anambra. In Anambra, you could remember when he came in, the first thing he did was to galvanize and support the security apparatus of the state, giving support and partnering with the Nigerian police. He went ahead to get transformers to light up Anambra state. Having done that, he went ahead to build hospital. Even the surrounding states were benefiting from that. He built secretariat to make sure there's a connection within the Nigerian workers, especially those in Anambra, to make sure that they are comfortable. Not only that, he made sure that he paid the backlog of 1996 gratuity and pension of people of Anambarians who did not benefit from that. And then eventually, his target is to bring in a new Anambra, which would translate, of course, to a new Nigeria. So these are practical examples. Not only that, he made sure that there were network of roads in all Anambra State. I'm a witness because at that time I was the IPAC chairman. I went round from Inewi to all other parts of Anambra State. I saw this road by myself. These are practical examples of what leadership can be practicalized, and he has practicalized it, and that particular action of his has resonated with the Nigerian people. Those statements and facts has resonated with the Nigerian people. At the end of it all, when he was leaving office, he left nothing less than 75 billion naira in the coffers of Anambra for them to carry on where he has left. So this kind of example of leadership, those are the things that make Nigerians want to vote for him, support him financially, physically, intelligently, and every facet of this life to make Nigeria a great. And I am happy for the first time in our history that Nigerians have been given hope that this country can work, and it can work for the betterment of all Nigerians, irrespective of where you come from. And this is exemplified by these particular candidacies of Obi and Deti Baba Ahmed.
Now, Mr. Tanko, apart from these rallies, Mr. Peter Obi has also been meeting with some influential personalities like former President Olusegun Obasanjo and Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State, who we all know is a member of the PDP. What more can you tell us about these meetings?
Well, you know, in politics, you don't discard, even your enemy is important to you. And when you want to reach out to people, you reach out to all and sundry. We're talking about leading a country like Nigeria. So a person like Obasanjo or Wike or any other person, they are important in this particular narrative. So reaching out to them is just telling them that, look, I have these particular qualities which I want to put down for the benefit of the Nigerian people. I need your support. And if everybody come in that regard to support, we are going to work together and emancipate Nigeria. And I want to use this opportunity to tell Nigerians, this time around, anybody that is making that particular lip service on his mouth, I want to rescue Nigeria, I want to rescue Nigeria. If you want to rescue Nigeria, this is the best time to rescue Nigeria. Because for the first time, people now are gravitating towards an area where we think have been maligned, where we think that they have been annihilated, where we think that they've been shortchanged, and then Nigerians are saying, we are giving them this power. We believe in your capacity. We believe that you can turn Nigeria from a consumption state to a production state. We believe that you can bring hope to Nigeria. We believe that you can bring prosperity to Nigeria. And we believe that this particular action can unite Nigerians. So in that case, you need every hands on deck. Not only do you reach out to people in the southwest, south, he's also reaching out to people in the north. And this I can attest to. So in any part of this country, everybody have been asked to join us. So it's not a new thing when you see him visiting Obasanjo and any other person. And I want to say here, this is a big opportunity for everybody who wants to right the wrong right to make sure that he joined this particular train. The train has a driver. The driver has an assistant. The driver is Peter Gregory Obi, and the assistant driver is Deti Baba Ahmed. So let's move on. Let's take Nigeria to the greatest height.
Well said, Dr. Tanko. And speaking of, this train and making Nigeria better, what are some of the qualities? I mean, we know what we think some of the qualities are of Peter Obi in order to be the next presidential candidate, but being someone that is in the Labour Party and knows him quite well, what makes him stand out from the other choices that we have, even though it's been talked about quite a bit that he, is quite good with money and left quite a bit of money in the coffers of the state before he left. What else should we be looking forward to if he does win?
Well, in this regard, what you will get is somebody who is humble, who is prudent, who is determined to rescue the country, who have love for every part of this country, somebody who is futuristic in thinking, who is ready to think out of the box, around the box. And I give you an example of what he did. When he was coming down from, he traveled to Maiduguri, I've said this before, he saw the landmass that was generated in the northern part. And he said, the wealth of this country is not only in this southern part of this country, but also it is there in the northern part of Nigeria. And that means to tell you that he's thinking about how to create an alternative way of revenue generation for the country. And if that should be the case, these are the kind of things that you will see in future. Is this in the kind of his humility? At the NBA conference the other day, you saw him when he came in. He went in and greeted everybody. And then he bowed and greeted his a senior colleague of his, showing him his humility. It's not a sign of weakness. He showed him his humility. And so what you will get as a leader is somebody who has the listening ear to listen to your problem. Is somebody who will be able to who will believe in empathy. Somebody who will be able to connect with the people. Somebody who will be able to say, look, Nigerians need ABC, and Nigeria need to be better in the Committee of Nations. He will do that. And he gave a story of how he was able to take care of the aged person, people who were accusing the government of Anambra that they've not paid them their gratuity and pension. He met this lady in the church, and the lady was accusing him that you don't need to be in church, you can't be in church because you've not paid us gratuity. You know what he did? He followed her home. He followed her home and met with her in her own house and listened to her cry. And I can assure you from listening to that particular cry, he was able to solve her problem. This is somebody who connects with leadership of secondary school leaders in their schools. They are the captains and the leaders of the school. He connects with them. They have his phone number. This is example of leadership. And the example of leadership is what we will get. So when you vote him into power, what you are going to see is somebody with empathy, somebody with determination, somebody with love for the Nigerian people, somebody who is prudent in spending, somebody who is ready to take Nigerians out of the wood, changing your life from hopelessness to hope, giving you the hope that Nigeria can be united as one country, irrespective of your religion, tribe, or your creed, or where you come from. That is what you should expect in leadership of Peter Gregory Obi and Deti Baba Ahmed.
Okay, I want to say many thanks to you, Dr. Tanko, for your time here on Newsday. Dr. Tanko is a Labour Party chieftain. Thank you very much.